What's up, everyone? Today I'm talking about how I felt when I paid off my debt. I'm doing this video to encourage people. Pay off your debt is one of the best feelings in the world, to understand that you don't owe anyone. When I say all my debt, I'm talking about like major credit cards. Of course, you're gonna have your mortgage and certain things that you can't run away from yet. But at one time, I made a video that I owed $32,000 in debt. But the video is called How I Paid Off $30,000 in Debt. But it was really like $32,000. In reality, I worked so hard. I bust my butt. At one time, I didn't see it out. Some people asked me, should I do bankruptcy at that time? Or suggested for me to do bankruptcy. And I was like, I didn't want that, because when you do bankruptcy, then you have to wait to purchase a home, and I didn't want that. I didn't want to mess up my credit that much. So anyway, long story short, after I paid them off, it was a learning lesson for me. You see, I hold my fist because I was very passionate, and I said I will never allow myself to get in unnecessary materialistic debt like that again, because the feeling that I felt after I paid off that debt was so overwhelming. I was so happy. Like, man, I can't believe I did it. It was a major accomplishment because I didn't see it out, but I stuck to it and I stayed committed. And at the end of the day, I was able to pay off all the debt. And those credit cards, man, I ain't never use them no more. They end up getting canceled by themselves. The Bank of America, Chase, they say, hey, Troy, you're not using the cards. What's going on? Whatever their story was, I could care less. My credit was already up. I had 2 credit cards that I stayed with, and that's it. I did not care. I was not going back into debt, because when you needed them, they did not help me. They was like, hey, we got you right where we want you. We want you to be in debt, because they want to make all that money off of the interest that I was paying each month. And now, when I done knocked them off and I paid them off, guess what they try to do? They try to send you those offers, those 0% interest for no interest for a year. Nah, no thank you. I don't need that. Because at the end of the day, they still charge you 3% just to use it. That's the catch. But they tell you have a year with no interest. But in reality, unless you got a business adventure, you buying some asset, you investing in yourself, I say go ahead and use those. But just because Christmas or something coming up, do not touch those things. Rip them up. As soon as they come, I rip them up and I laugh. Because I know, yeah, I know what they want. They're a business. I'm never going to knock them. But I'm a father and I have family. And for me to build and to leave a legacy and to build wealth, is not in my best interest to go into debt for unnecessary materialistic things. Treat yourself. Have a good time. But don't put yourself in no debt. Focus. Pay that baby off. And I'm just telling people it can be done, because it has been done. And I did it. Just an ordinary person. Get your bonus, get every extra money that you can, get that tax return, pay off your debt, because it's a great feeling, undescribable feeling, to know that you don't owe nobody. You could go anywhere, and if you need to get a loan, they look at your credit, they look at your credit score, and then they talking to you. They trying to work with you. They trying their best to put you in debt. But the only reason I'm gonna go into debt is because it gotta be something medical, like I'm sick and I can't work or something like that. Or it's an investment, or I'm buying an asset, or I'm investing in myself. That's how I'm going into debt. But other than that, I'm not going to debt. I'm not going into debt for any materialistic stuff, because I knew how hard it was for me to get out. So once you know, man, it's just like trouble. It's so easy to get into trouble. It's so easy to get in credit card debt. But once you're in trouble, it's so hard to get out of trouble. Once you're in credit card debt, it's so hard to pull your way out. And once you get out, stay out. Unless it's necessary debt, assets, business, property, land, things like that, tangible things. But other than that, stay out of debt. Anyway, people, you like what I'm saying? You agree with what I'm saying? You disagree with what I'm saying? Please leave a like, leave a comment, share the video. Financial freedom. And also, when you get a chance, go to Amazon and purchase my book, Financial Freedom Mindset, The Average Person's Guide to Financial Stability. It's available on Amazon for $9.99 by Troy Adams. Self-published. Again, That's an investment. If I had debt or I needed to go into debt to make this book, I would have went into debt to make this book. Why? Because it's an investment. It's something that can be passed down to my children and my children's children. And that's how all of us need to do it. It don't have to necessarily be a book, but get something tangible that you can pass down. You cannot pass down shoes unless it's collectible. You cannot pass down cars unless it's collectible and it's appreciating in value. But that's what we need to start doing. That's what we need to start purchasing. Things that can be passed down to the next generation, that can give them a head start. So I was asking my son today, he's 9 years old, if he remember the toys that I bought for him, or not bought for him, remember the toys that people bought for him 3 years ago. He doesn't remember. And it's the same thing that's going to happen to him 10 years from now. But if you have a property for him, he'll forever remember that for 20 years. Somebody say, hey man, how you got this house? My dad, my mom left this house for me. But if somebody asks him 20 years for an old video game, hey man, how you got this Nintendo with Mario Kart? You're like, man, I don't know. He's not going to remember. They're children. They're very emotional. They don't use logical thinking for now. But as they get older, they'll be like, man, I wish my parents had did this. And you know, you try your best. Am I perfect? No, I'm not perfect. But I understand to stay out of debt. Or if I'm getting to debt, it's something that I can have some valuable, some tangibles that I can leave for my kids. But anyway, people, I'm out of here. Stay out of debt. Later.